Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we forever thank Allah for his coming to the black man and woman in the hells of North America in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, and raising in our midst the Messiah, the Christ, the eternal leader of the nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We thank them both for the Jesus in our midst, a light-giving son, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I greet all of my beloved brothers and sisters in the words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Today is Friday, August 21st, 2020. I first wish to express my gratitude to Brother Student Minister Shahid Muhammad for his wonderful opening last week while my husband, Brother Darius, and I were on the road taking our younger daughter, Sherelle, back to Washington, D.C., where she is at Howard University. I also want to thank Brother Troy 5X, Sister Stacy Muhammad, Brother Bobby Muhammad, Brother Dr. Robert Muhammad, Brother Billy Muhammad. I shouldn't start the list because I'm going to have to do everyone. I'll do it next week. But we have an incredible team of study group coordinators here in Chicago and around the country who give so much time, so much effort to implement and execute this course in a manner worthy of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's standards and the God who revealed it to us through him. This week's assignment in Study Guide 17, Hypocrisy and Conspiracy, is to read and discuss part 2 of the analysis, where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan takes us deep into that irredeemable characteristic of envy. We never want to lose sight, beloved, of the focus of this course, which is our own individual self. The goal is to grow from the underdeveloped state of being man, whether male or female, into the divine purpose of being a God. So as we make our way through this critical phase, do not look at anyone other than yourself, and I will work to do the same. Remember, there were those who set up the plan to murder Jesus, but the chief executive of the Roman Empire was set up as well. So though we believe our intentions are good, what we need protection from is being set up. And as the minister writes, it is a certain orientation of the mind and spirit that can result in us becoming a part of the planned actions against the apostle of God. Go back over the reading assignment from the Holy Quran, chapters 113 and 114, and don't leave them out of your thinking or the discussion tonight. I will not be long. I just want to lift a few words from Brother Minister Jibril Muhammad's series, Farrakhan the Traveler, and this is from June 4th, 2002, an interview with the minister that became part of the monumental book, Closing the Gap. And please make sure you read this in its entirety, as I am only lifting portions. And I will have our team post this on study.noi.org. Brother Jibril, Brother Minister, as you know, the scriptures teach that the evil move that was made against Joseph by his brothers was out of envy. Jesus, of course, suffered envy. A great deal of what happens today in America and elsewhere is motivated by jealousy and envy. What gives rise to jealousy and especially envy? Minister Farrakhan responds, all of us as human beings are creatures of desire. God, in order to move us toward any goal, first must create in us a desire. Every human being who is blessed with a bit of the divine, it creates within us desire for greatness, desire for recognition, desire to be known, desire to leave behind us a great witness of our presence. All of these desires are found in God. He was not known. He desired to make himself known. He wanted those who sought him to come closer in finding him. It was not out of a spirit of vanity, but the timeliness of man's knowledge, that man could grow closer and to move faster toward the goal of perfection. Having said that, each of us has to cope with our desires and the possible disappointment and frustration of our desires. Sometimes we may desire more than what we are capable of achieving. Sometimes we, in recognition of our own greatness, think more of ourselves than we should. So these emotions that accompany desire, its fulfillment or frustration, leads to other dangerous emotions. If I desire something, but someone else has what it is that I desire, that person's having it and mine not having it, but desiring it, becomes a test for me. I can reason with myself and say, oh, Allah, maybe this was not for me, but I thank you for giving it to A, B, or C. At least someone has what I desired. Let me help them to accomplish the desire. That then disallows envy, jealousy, or enmity. It allows the person who has the desire, but someone is fulfilling desire, to grow even greater in the manifestation of his own gifts, but in service to the one whom God has chosen to fulfill such a desire. It is when we cannot cope with someone else having what we desire, and therefore feeling a frustration and disappointment and not being able to handle that, then the ugly disposition of envy manifests. At first it's passive. I just dislike this person. But as God raises that person more and more into that which I desire for myself, which I feel that person is really unworthy of, then envy turns to hatred. And hatred becomes active. Then my mind, as it was with Cain, the brother of Abel, turns toward murder. Understanding what God has for us and praying the prayer that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked us to say 7 times a day becomes so important in fulfilling the answer to this question. And then the minister recites the refuge prayer. And he goes on, and I will close with this last several sentences from him, and please read the rest of this article. But I quote, "You know, it takes great strength, inner strength, to recognize one's own limitations and to rejoice in what God has given to me. Rejoice in what God has given to my brother or sister. The same God that gave to me gave to them. If I can rejoice in what God has given me, then I can rejoice in what God has given to others. So in my thanks and gratitude for his gift to me, it makes me grateful for the gift he gives to others. That sense of gratitude, which takes inner strength to realize, undermines the wicked emotion of envy. So I stop with that, thinking back on part 1 of our analysis, which we covered last week. We want to be careful of the orientation of our mind. We see America completely collapsing. We have a very short window of time, beloved, to get busy building, bringing in this new reality. And in order for us not to be hindered or impeded, we must purge ourselves and rid ourselves of any jealousy and envy toward one another. May Allah bless us with a wonderful study tonight. I love you much and leave you in the words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.